Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Marshfield School Committee meeting for Tuesday, November 4th. We are here at Ames Way today. Will you please call the roll?
Yeah, Mrs. Dargan?
Here.
Mr. Greer here. Ms. Gray?
Here.
Or Mrs., sorry.
Yes, whatever.
Yep.
You never know. I'm
Keep your
here.
options open.
Yep. Will you please stand and join me for the Pledge of Allegiance? Over here. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Will you also please join me in the Peace Builders Pledge? I raise people to give up put downs, to seek wise people, to notice, to speak up about hurt-side cause, to right wrongs, to help others. I will build peace at home, in school, in my community each day. And on the bus if you're at Upper and on the bus. Awesome. Well, hello, Bishop. How are you?
Very well.
Excellent. So we're here. Our spotlight on excellence tonight is all about. I was reading some outside stuff, which is exciting.
Yes.
All right, take it away.
Yes. So, we had a little conversation this past month with our students about outdoor learning. So one of my favorite parts about being a principal at Ames Way School is my principal lunches, where we recognize students for being outstanding citizens. And we reflect on what makes us great as a school, areas of improvement for a school, and also hopes and wishes that they see as being ways to enhance their learning experience as students at Ames Way School. So being our awesome elementary students, they often have amazing ideas like an Olympic-sized swimming pool or a hockey rink or a zip line that goes to the center of town or a beach. So along that vein, a lot of the conversation that they always talk about as well is how to have more fun learning outside and things to do outside and have that experience. So we actually do have an outdoor classroom at Ames Way School that has fallen to some disrepair over the years. This is a picture of it right here. What you have in front of you on the green piece of paper is actual plans to revamp the outdoor classroom. You may have some pizza sauce and things on it like that. So it was a business lunch, if you will, but some creative ideas about how to reimagine the space, add to this space, and connect it also to our learning that we are doing in grades K through 5. We also know. What's that?
Looks like a big rat.
Oh yes, there is a video where they do go through some of their descriptions and ideas, which is priceless. But as you guys know, outdoor time benefits the whole child. It boosts focus, executive functioning, academic engagement, especially from hands-on motor skills, especially for primary students. Enhances social emotional well-being, creativity, especially for the cooperative opportunities and learning together. Also with physical health, attention regulation. Studies have also shown that if students learn how to regulate themselves at a younger age, the trajectory for success later in life is significantly higher. It also encourages problem solving, curiosity, and also, of course, stewardship of nature. There's a lot of conversation of whatever we do out there, students will also learn to take care of it themselves. They want pet fish, they want a koi pond, they want chickens and ducks and things like that too. But we always have the conversation of, well, who's going to take care of that? And so they retract their statements. Let's put it that way. All right. So for our next chapter at Ames Way School, we have also begun conversations as a school community about expanding outdoor learning in general. So case in point, existing outdoor classroom space as a starting point. And we have also planned a community cleanup to do some light landscaping, raking up leaves, and some light pruning to refresh the space. That we're planning to do that November 16th. The Patriots are not playing. We checked. So people should be available if they're not watching other football, maybe. And hopefully the weather also cooperates. But also for students to have a community engagement and community service experience with that, where they're learning to take care of their own learning space and do some other projects as well down the road. For example, building bird houses. We know first grade, they all become ornithologists in the spring. We want to maybe turn it into a bird sanctuary. We will see. So some exciting professional learning and collaboration that we were able to do today. Amesway staff were able to visit the Steeple School, where we were able to see kids at play in their outdoor learning spaces and observe their innovative outdoor learning spaces with the wonderful Deb Ritz, their educational director, who has been working there for a very long time, refining and creating these wonderful experiences for outdoor learning. Yes, so, in summary, we look forward to continuing collaboration with teachers, families, and also the Amesway PTO, and of course our students, and figuring out new ways to build learning outdoors, and also foster a sense of community, stewardship, and joy in learning outside. Of course, where would we be without some comments from our students? So we were able to talk to kids across K through 5, just on their thoughts and ideas about what that outside learning could be, and also what they would like it to be. So enjoy. We also did film around Halloween time, so you're going to see some interesting things. This lecture. Thank you.
I think we should build an outdoor class because all the kids in our school need to be outside. And it was neat as the kids in kindergarten was neat as the other. They need to get there. Yeah, and get the spirit.
So we have more time outside, and so we can do more stuff and like have fun outside and have more of us in every day. I think it's important to be outside because it's nice and relaxing and it's easy to concentrate.
When we first got our outdoor classroom, when we first came to Amesway, we said, wow, this is our outdoor classroom, because we went to our outdoor classroom in Steeple.
Maybe then like the little sad or emotional. I think it would be nice, maybe we could go with Miss Miller or someone, and they could just sit out there and just instead of talking in an office or something. I don't just like it. It's nice, quiet.
Well, the feeling is you can play at the same time as you can do your work, but it's less it can be fun when you can do, because you could plan for our classes and do what your teachers say, and you can get the classes out to go with you, because we have tiny little classrooms in our school. We can't have to see our friends inside our classroom.
I think it would just be really nice to just if you're having a tough day, you could just step outside and get some fresh air in the area.
You can play with your friends that are not in your class.
Because you can study outside. Because it's healthy and it's a lot more fun to be outside, mostly, especially when it's nice and warm and it's a sunny day.
I see the sun with the sky outside.
If you're playing a game that you don't know, your friends can teach you how to play it. And then you get better and better at it. Well, I think they're good and that they could be good for students so they could listen and you can put whiteboards up there too. I think these are really calming and really nice, and it just makes it easier to learn.
It's good for kids because they need to be outside a lot. Kindergartners have to get their energy out because they're not can work without running around the classroom. Yeah, and that's why they have recess at the end of the day and at the middle of the day.
The grass and animals and stuff want to take a break and and we could like take a rest of one and just hang out for a couple of minutes.
Fresh air is good for the brain. Fresh air is good for the brain. Kindergarten.
Like you could, there's a bunch of ways to study math and like a garden and reading. It would be nice to study in the fresh air. I think it would be nice to do ELA because I know a lot of kids get frustrated with ELA sometimes. So it'd be nice. I know when I'm in nature and I get frustrated, I just take a deep breath and it feels nice to like if I smell flowers or something. I'll play like outside, and we used to eat snacks in my pampa outside. And we gotta we could play on the playground and grow up at the same time. You could study how a bunch of things work out there, how soil is made and how plants grow and how much sun they need and how much water they need. You could also study the animals that live in the ground and some of the plants. I want to do the garden and stuff. But you could add more stuff to it and get an obstacle course. I want to study bugs and animals. Birds? We could study birds and we could count plants flowers or something. And it could also maybe work for the third graders or the end of second grade, because that's kind of when you get into multiplication and you could if we planted flowers, we could do if there were 3 flowers and there were 6 petals on each flower, we could do that. Or if we have 5 strips of garden area and there's 4 flowers in each one, how many would we have? Potatoes. That sometimes can fly, but some can't. Most here can fly. We can do reading, math, and science at the same time. When we do it outside, and we'll have this new, and we'll have one over there and here. Apples. Or you could learn how to help with your body. Yeah, you could. Look your arms, because they're ambulance. Yeah, they're ambulance part that. Here, we could go out there with our little buddies sometimes, and if someone needs a moment and there's no classes out there, it would be nice just to go sing out there. We could a huge paper up when we're writing about birds. 4 pictures. And tails. You can teach your little buddies or the younger kids how to plan stuff and take responsibility, to water every day. You have to write poem words. You could have a classroom that's made out of wood. Not in a building. So you can put a screen on a wood. For me, the perfect outdoor space would be a bunch of garden area and some benches and a patio. I would say a ton of picnic tables, a huge garden, and just a place to just relax.
My ideas for an outdoor classroom is astronomy and physics, geology, and arts and crafts.
An outdoor library. You want to and also a room and
What is
chairs. Classroom outside. Thinking of putting this near the area, near the side closest to the gym.
What is that?
Smoothie area.
Smoothie.
And here is a bench. We can have snack.
For geology, they can walk over here and like examine rocks. And my idea is that whoever like puts the rocks in there, like puts different types of rocks.
Because there could be a library there and that you can learn in the sun and relax.
What's this?
FHD.
And then this is the classroom. And it has like a little bench on like around the board. And it's gonna be in like that open space, like behind the like big play structure. And like for geology there's gonna be like rocks and a bridge under it to like get to the other side for astronomy and physics. And we also forgot to mention electricity. And on the other side of the bridge there's gonna be geology and rocks and crafts. This is what it looks like.
So a lot of ideas, a lot of great ideas, but also a lot of rich connections and also a lot of beautiful child curiosity. So we're really excited about continuing the conversation, seeing what we can create, seeing what we can also revamp that already exists. But this is a very exciting project. And again, November 16th is the day that we're going to get our rakes and our gloves and start working in our classroom.
Thank you so much. It was so, I have that one actually right here. I got lucky.
Yep, see that was.
I have the fish tank. Yep.
It's actually, they decided it was a toy pond.
Oh,
I think
okay.
We talked about goldfish would not do well outside.
I think those two girls have a HGTV show coming.
I know, right?
They wanted to read notes, they had choreography, there was a song at one point.
It's great.
They just, yeah, so a lot of very shy children that
That was awesome.
yeah, the little boy is, he just had a long list of different things he wanted to plant.
I have to say,
Potatoes, apples, pears, and, you know, carrots.
I really appreciate Principal Bishop and Assistant Principal Milch using student voice in everything we do. The student journalists, this is a great example, and even in her grit challenge, really working to their grit challenge, working to talk to students and let the students express themselves is just very notable. So it's good you did that.
Yes, kids lead the way.
I was lucky enough to be at a principal lunch. Was that last year? I think that
Was that?
was that last year when I came to principal lunch?
Yes, you did, with
Okay.
the principal for the day.
Right.
There, yes. So
Yeah,
we had
and that
a principal
really
and
is
a Assistant
awesome.
principal for the day,
Yep.
and they gave them fake licenses,
Mhm.
and a
Yep.
meeting with you guys, and that was, they still talk about that.
They do. That was awesome. That was one of my most favorite days on the committee. I have a question for you.
Yes.
What was something that you saw at Steeple School that you think could be implemented well here at Amesway?
Was the first part what you said?
What was something that you saw at the Steeple School outside classroom that you think could be implemented here?
The sensory walk would be a very easy thing to do. They had this really cute, very simple kind of boardwalk with different textures. So it was seashells and concrete and sand and different types of gravel and smooth stone and tile and rubber. And so just something that simple could make a huge difference, especially for our primary students. And I know especially for our students in the MALC program, they would love that. That's an easy thing to do.
Yeah, they've done a really good job over there. Fun fact, my mother was a preschool teacher from the time I was in kindergarten until I was a senior in high school at Steeple School. I went to Steeple School. My son went to Steeple School, so I love it Steeple School. That's great. I'm really happy that you guys incorporated that into, yeah.
A great collaboration.
Yeah, I mean, although it's a private preschool, just working together, I think is also always the best policy, and that's awesome. I'm happy to hear that.
Thank you.
Love
And
that.
Deborah's is amazing.
She sure is. Yes. Did you guys have any?
No, I think it's interesting in Steeple School. So when I was in first grade, Marshfield didn't have a kindergarten, right? It wasn't state mandated.
Yeah.
So everybody I went to school with started off at Steeple School, then came here.
Another fun fact. Yes. Here we go. What do you got, Lauren?
Yeah, one of my kids went to single school. I love seeing the kids. I love anything that has to do with outside movement, especially in this day and age of attention spans and stuff.
A lot of social emotional stuff too they
Yeah.
touched on, and
Yeah,
I was impressed with some of the connections that they made, so.
they did. It's good for the brain.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's good for the brain.
yep. Relaxing. I can take a deep breath. All that stuff is great. Yeah, awesome. Thank you.
Do you have any funding for your outdoor classroom, or is this a volunteer?
So the cleanup itself, that's gonna be volunteer, that's just,
Right,
we
okay.
have bags and we bring bags, and that's a very.
So we're in the idea
Zero cost,
All right.
just pure sweat equity.
I love that. That's awesome. Thank you guys so much.
Yep.
Yeah.
We are going to move on to our student representative report.
Sophie and Kylie.
Welcome.
Hi everyone, I'm so happy to be here. My name is Sophia Jameson and I'm a senior at Marshfield High School. I'm very grateful to have this opportunity as a school committee rep for City Council. I'm proud to share a little bit about myself. So I went to Governor Winslow, I went to school, well, Mrs. Hubbard. I also helped to start the high school's unified programs, which was a really inspiring and motivating thing to do. I'm now on the student council e-board as a student school committee representative and senior class rep. I'm also involved in National Honor Society, including teams, swim and dive, and for ambassadors. I present like art in the summer, and I'm an avid skier, and I hope to study political science and or public policy in college. My parents are both educators, so I have a big appreciation for public education, and I look forward to serving the school year as school committee representative.
Thank you so much.
My name is Kylie Vila. I was on the school committee last year, but not as like a super primary member. I kind of like jumped back and forth between meetings in school. So I went to Martinsville Elementary School, and I'm a junior at high school right now. I serve as the school committee representative, but I'm also the treasurer of the student council. I'm the captain of the mock trial team. I do volleyball for the school. I'm also in National Honor Society. And outside of school, I've published like 2 children's books so far. And what else do? I do club volleyball.
I don't think you need to do it for everything. How did you even have time to come here?
Yeah, but like I do at club volleyball. I do a lot of things. I'm pretty involved. I'm super excited to come and be on the school committee again. I really like sharing the student perspective, and I'm also on the scheduling committee for the high school and the flex block committee as well. So as like student, so it's fun. I like sharing with the student body.
That's great. Thank you so much. What do you think about the flex block?
I think students initially had a negative outcome on it. Like they had a negative mindset on it, but then once it was implemented into the school, people kind of started to appreciate it more, and they started to get their homework done. They really started to see the value of the flex block.
What about you?
I think it's beneficial. Like I've been able to make up some tests and quizzes in flex block, and like just be able to talk to teachers. It's pretty easy. I think there are like a couple learning curves that we have to kind of come up with, but it's actually pretty flexible. Like the teachers, like if you maybe schedule a teacher and you have to talk to another, their like, e-hall pass also kind of goes along with it. So I thought it's pretty good.
Great. It's always interesting to try something new. You never know what's going to happen until you try it.
Right.
So this is a perfect example. Thank you guys so much for being here.
Thank you guys.
You can certainly leave now.
Okay.
Absolutely. Thanks for coming. Great job.
You got a busy cat.
Yeah, I know.
Busy.
Gotta start running.
Nice to meet you. Thank you.
Thanks, later. Thank you.
Maybe start.
Oh, I know, right? Let's see. Any subcommittee reports?
Do you want to say?
Well, you could talk about the one you're chair for. Which ones, right?
Yeah.
I can go first.
Yeah, you
I am the representative for the Safe Schools Initiative. So I met with Sclaro this past week and we went over a few things. We still have some stuff to go over, but we did start that process of reviewing what was done in 2024. And we're going to come back with a full report of what we're going to do going forward. Just wanted to let you guys know that we started that.
I missed which subcommittee it was. I
Same
see.
schools.
Yes. Thanks.
So we can,
Great.
I guess I can do negotiations. So we've received a letter, intent to enter negotiations. So we have the rules meeting, draft rules meeting, which kicks off the process, schedule.
And what meeting is this subject?
Yes.
Great.
Okay. We've also been working with the athletic budget subcommittee. So we're in the process of gathering data in order to continue to move forward to make any kind of determination on fees and things like that. So we're making good progress. We're going to have a meeting in the next couple of weeks again, and then plan to meet regularly moving forward for that.
Great.
We also met as the policy subcommittee, and we can cover that when we get to the policy. Sure.
Yeah, so one quick thing. So we need that meeting posted.
Yes, it's Monday, so we're going to post it.
Right. Just to make sure we post it.
Absolutely.
This week.
Will do.
Yeah.
We are going to move information to the end, just.
Sure, absolutely.
Okay, great. And we are not going to do the minutes because Mrs. Pazerski is not here, so we're going to take that off the agenda. Everybody's okay with that?
That's fine.
I still owe meeting minutes for, what
Okay.
minutes that?
Sorry, subcommittee.
Oh, yeah.
Budget.
Okay.
That one.
Okay.
I have minutes for it, I just haven't for one.
Fine, Lauren, you want to just make a note of that so we can make sure that we follow up with him? Thank you.
Yeah. If you don't write it down, I'll get it. But
Mr. Raymond, would you like to give the MEA update?
Good, thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you for being here.
Oh, yeah, thanks for having me. So good evening, everyone. I hope you're all well. Looking forward to Thanksgiving and the holiday season. Tonight I have the privilege of giving some very enthusiastic and very incomplete recognition to staff of the multi-age classroom here at Amesway School. On behalf of the association's NEA Secretary Michelle Simmons and EWS Building Representative Alice Devon, they write, quote, "We'd like to recognize the outstanding work happening in our multi-age classroom. The teachers and staff have built a nurturing, student-centered environment that celebrates collaboration, empathy, and academic growth. Students benefit not only from differentiated instruction, but also from the opportunity to learn from peers of different ages. The connections they foster within Amesway are impressive. The staff's commitment to innovation and community truly sets a high standard for our school. Their efforts are a shining example of how teamwork and thoughtful teaching can make learning meaningful for each child. Their patience, compassion, and love for their children are unmatched. This team is a huge part of who we are as a school. They all teach us how to be better educators. We would not be Amesway without the hard work and dedication of Jess Egelstrom, Allison Matthews, Ann Falcara, Danielle Murphy, Liz Novak, and Kaylee Bell. You make us awesome," end quote. Everyone belongs at Marshfield because every educator in this building is inclusive. Every educator in this building is compassionate. Every educator in this building cares for the education and well-being of all students. Such is and always will be the case. In every classroom and every building in Marshfield, educators like Ms. Egelstrom and Ms. Matthews, Ms. Falcara and Ms. Murphy, Ms. Novak and Ms. Bell are devoting themselves tirelessly to the betterment of other people's children. The committee and association are likewise responsible for ensuring their success. As we enter negotiations on successor agreements, the teacher, nurse, tutor, and assistant principal contract this winter, I trust you'll keep these dedicated staff members well and truly in mind as we work together to ensure that they have resources, encouragement, and autonomy necessary to do such immeasurable good for every student who comes through these doors.
Thank you so much. So I'm waiting against hand, and I thought you.
Oh, no.
What's going on? It's really good to be on.
Flat residence.
Yes, okay. I am gonna, and it just got me. I am gonna move a couple things out of order. I don't see any members of the public, but are there any members here that would, from the public, that would like to say anything for public participation? Seeing none, we are not going to have anybody tonight. I would like to move into the new business. We have South Shore Educational Collaborative Update. Executive Director Mike Loesch is here to present to us. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being patient with us.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. I'm Michael Loesch, Executive Director for Central Educational Collaborative First, I just want to really start off by thanking you for this time. Being a school committee member myself, I know this is not an easy job. I don't want anybody to tell you it is. But also that what an exemplary member of Marshfield is. We really do appreciate your advocacy and support that we've had with them over the past few years. That they've really truly recommended. So the reason I am here before you tonight is I was looking to establish a capital reserve fund. Right now, we do not have this in existence. We want to have this in place in case we really run into major issues with the building we currently rent over 75 Abington Street in Hingham, or if we really decide to move forward and purchase them. Many collaborators, when they don't have this fund in place, actually end up having to go to their members for support in this area. That is something looking forward, looking at budgetary saving the entire company. It's something we ideally want to really going forward. By having this fund, we really be able to create the opportunity, not to have. We need 2/3 of the school committee's votes of approval. In the letter, it obviously gives you many more details of the actual side of this happens just budgetary process for the allocation to that fund. It goes through board approval. And really, like I said, this is our goal of this is to impact our member districts as possible. Because frankly, we value our members. We don't want to have to for funds to fix anything that is on our end, but we shouldn't have to with the establishment of this fund.
Do you guys have any questions?
Yeah, I don't quite understand how the financials work for the collaborative. Yep. Right, because municipalities can't stockpile funds for rainy day. Right? Well,
we have to be very creative. We do have capital.
Well, the town, the municipal side does have stabilization.
Yeah, but I'm talking about on our end.
Yeah.
Right? So, like, how does yours work?
This is one of the roots in creating this fund. When we are on a tuition basis from all of our member districts and non-members pay for students to attend our collaborative. We really service some of the most severe children all throughout the South Shore and even some of the Western Mass and Cape. Right now, when we look at our budgetary process, we kind of evaluate going into this next budget season, whether or not looking at what kind of year we have had, if we have hit our enrollment targets, would we be able to put funds into this account? If we replicate years like we've had in the past years, we will look to, definitely build this account over time so that we don't have, like I said, have to come back to member districts if we wanted to purchase or ran into a major repair in our current building. Because one thing is collaboratives don't have access to NSBA funds. One piece that we have not been successful, I guess, in advocating and getting access to, but this is one of the means so that we can actually build up funds in order to move forward. We do need to look at purchasing an actual space out of the community.
Right, so it's social collaborative, is that a private nonprofit? Is that how it works?
No, we have nonprofit status, but we are a public day school. So we're a public entity that services special education students only, ages 3 through 22.
Yep. Well, that I know that part of it. Yeah, just trying to, as long as it's legal, I have no problem.
Actually, we do have stabilization, but at town meeting, they voted a special education stabilization.
Right, but that's
just a matter of
time. I'm talking about us. We can't even stockpile a maintenance budget, right, for repairs and all that stuff. It's use it or lose it. We can't roll over and accumulate a fund. That's why I was asking if there was.
Yeah.
Like we'd have to do it through the town, stabilization.
But, yeah, I mean, as Mike said, I think this is just a way for them to.
Yeah, so, I'm fine with it.
Yeah, some security.
I wish we could.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea. It's a smart idea. Just out of curiosity, how many students do you have?
Right now we have about 305.
Okay.
And right now that's about 240 at our campus and another 65 out in the hall.
Okay. Yeah. Or you wouldn't be here, right? Well, thank you for coming today. Lauren, do you have a question?
No, I can't write and think of questions.
Okay, so that's totally fine. So when is the date that you're looking to start this?
Once we have approval from all of our committees, we will roll it into this budget cycle and hopefully then be able to project an amount we're going to be able to put into that fund at the end of the year.
Okay, so are you looking for us to vote tonight?
That
Okay.
So what is the actual vote? The vote is like an agreement in principle, right, but not a number.
No, it's just your approval of us establishing.
Establishing.
Right.
Approval of establishing the fund.
And then we have a separate vote on the dollar amount.
No, we're not there.
That would be, that's up to the board.
It's up to the board, but we would obviously, so I'm on the board.
Yeah.
Oh,
Such which covered.
I don't think I knew that.
Yeah, you better speak next year.
I'm like, I voted on that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where, sorry, cancer.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Well, and Ken very.
Okay, excuse me, I have no idea what's going on.
So we're committing to some arbitrary number tonight.
Well,
No,
no.
we're not giving money.
No.
No, this is coming from their budget.
Yes, the goal is not to impact your budget at all through this fund. There's a lot of collaboratives when they have to buy property, because they, sometimes they lose space in public buildings, or they move from renting to buying. A lot of times you have to appeal to their member districts in order to make that happen. This is our effort to really prevent that moving forward.
Oh, I get it now. Yeah. Yeah, sky's the limit then.
It's right as the establishing.
Yeah, motion approved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Raise your hand, say aye.
Aye. All those
That's how
opposed?
it's 3-0,
Carries
yeah.
none.
Just want to take the opportunity to thank Mike and his team at the Education Collaborative for all the great work they've done to help Marshfield and Marshfield's students and Marshfield staff as well with professional development. It's a really important partnership and something that we should be very proud of being part of.
Yeah, I just didn't understand the financials.
No, I get that.
That's,
Well, I have him here. It's his second year and has done a fabulous job.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thanks for coming.
we set precedent, it's gonna come back every meeting, that's something.
All right, so moving back to the old business, we are going to table the MHS coaches handbook for the foreseeable future. That's something that we're going to work with the union on, so we're going to come back to that after that. Up next, we have the fiscal year 27 through fiscal year 31 capital budget. Mr. Miller.
So there's a lot of information in your folders, but primarily we want to look at just this page with all my notes, this one right here. The fiscal year 27 to 31 draft capital planning program. We have a subcommittee, Mr. Dargan and Mr. Greer, and we met and discussed some of the options that were presented. I worked a lot with facilities manager Fred Russell, Tony Bullock, in kind of coming up with some additional ideas. The program presented here is primarily very similar to last year. As you may remember, last year the district received 0 funding for capital projects, something we hope that doesn't happen again. From last year, we removed 3 items. The Martinson roof, obviously, as we progressed in that project. The parking lot at Marshfield High School that was deemed not exactly necessary at this point. And there was a small item for wood structure repair that remained from the 2015 capital assessment. Those 3 items were taken off the plan. I'm going to go through the projects quickly in a moment, but added were the doors at Ainsway School, HVAC at Marshfield High School, and elementary bathroom renovations for all the elementary schools. And I'll talk about those in a second. So looking at the plan, our number 1 priority is the Daniel Webster roof. The full proposal there with escalation is about $1.85 million. A couple of things on this front. Recently, the MSBA now allows roof restoration as part of their accelerated repair process program. So We're hopeful we can submit that in the next cycle. The restoration is completely different than what the complete roof replacement that's happening, that hopefully will happen on Markinson. The roof restoration is more of a seal coating of the roof. Part of this, and what will be presented to the capital budget committee of the town and the town finance administration, is we have we have a proposal in our information for $145,000 for a specific part of the building that needs to be done immediately. So the 1.85 million is probably a couple years off, but we need to get about $150,000 done at Daniel Webster right now. So that is going to be our primary ask there. With knowing full well in the future, we will submit to the MSBA accelerated repair and hopefully get 50% back on that project. That's our neediest roof besides Markinson. Our second priority is the interior and exterior doors here at Ames Way. There's an example right there.
Original doors.
Original doors throughout the building. This is a high priority because this was brought to our attention primarily. I mean, we knew the doors were old, but Marshfield Police in their walkthroughs let us know that the doors are a security and a security risk and just need to be replaced. So that totals about $128,000. And again, that's an immediate need. So
just to clear, we have done things to work around that. We have roll-up sticks and other ways of securing doors.
Yeah, it's not unsecure.
Right. I just want to make sure, but it is past time for those locks to be and that hardware to be replaced.
That's project number 2. Project number 3 is technology district-wide. Dave Cawthorn put together a new 4-year technology plan across the district. There's a lot of information there. He provided a synopsis of all of everything that is proposed in that plan. Primarily, it's kindergarten and first grade Chromebooks, staff laptops across the district. Marshfield High School computer labs, Marshfield High School classroom voice systems, access points at the high school and middle school, switches, some of the nuts and bolts, and upgrading our security cameras, and as well as interactive panels in the classrooms. So it's a lot. You can see the whole price tag over the 4 years is $2.2 million, broken out over those 4 years. We've put together a proposal for $616,000 for this coming cycle, and we're going to present that to the Capital Budget Committee and look to move that forward. A lot of this was funded through the original high school project, and that's 11 years old already. So a lot of those items are coming to the end of the life cycle and be replaced. Project number 4 is HVAC replacement at Marshfield High School. It's built out over 4 years at $435,000. What is happening at the high school, again, 11 years in, the air conditioning units for the data closets in the high school are starting to fail, and they just need to be gradually replaced. So this will build up some funding for that. When that does happen, we have the funding to do it. So that's priority number 4. Project number 5 is one that's been there was there last year. It's phase 2 of the South River ADA work. As you know, the ramp was put in at the front of South River. This phase 2 is addressing the stair issue on the 3 floors, adding an elevator into the school. So That may be a difficult ask this year, because of the dollar value, but, it is still a priority. Project 6 is, for special education, 8 passenger vans over 2 years. In your packet, denotes, our vans are, 4 or 5 of our vans are over 10 years old, and, they have about 140, 150 or more 1,000 miles on them. Doesn't sound like a lot compared to some vehicles, but those vans get beat up pretty quickly, and what's happening, they're ending up in the shop and spending a lot of money just on repairs and maintenance for them as well. So they definitely do need to be replaced. And again, that's over 2 years, so it's 2 vans for this coming FY27. And then Project 7 is the bathroom renovation. So a lot of money in our first initial run through, $3.2 million for the 4 schools, broken out over 4 years. Again, that's going to be a very large ask. Once again, similar to the Daniel Webster roof restoration, there's a component of this that we will probably push forward. It's a $55,000 to get the schematic design done initially. So when it comes down to it, we will probably look to ask for that $55,000 so we can get all these other projects done. So focusing on FY27, which is our primary focus this year. The bottom line is $4.6 million. We know that's not available through town funding, but in downscaling the Daniel Webster roof and the bathroom renovations, the total comes out to just under $1.2 million, which we're going to push for with the town. So once again, we did not receive any capital funding last year. We really received limited capital funding over the years, and this is the result. A pretty hefty full capital planning program here. Really quickly, the other items on here that are pushed out into 28 through 31, emergency paving and curbing. It's been on our list for a few years, $621,000. That's just at the neediest situations across the district for paving. The roof restoration of Governor Winslow, very similar to Daniel Webster, but not as in dire need at the moment. It's about a 2 to 4 year expectancy left for Governor Winslow. So we have it out there in fiscal 29. Our hope is that we can put in for both Daniel Webster and Governor Winslow with the MSBA to receive funding to get those 2 projects done at about 50% of the state. And then the last 3 items are pushed out further. Daniel Webster flooring. Daniel Webster is the only school that has tile that still needs to be abated. It's not a huge issue at the moment, but it is going to be necessary relatively soon, so it's on our plan. Martinson Auditorium Rehab put together a proposal on just upgrading that auditorium. It's very dated, needs some work. That totals about $128,000. And lastly is just what's been on our plan for several years is the continuing of putting in air conditioning at Furnace Brook. Several years ago, the 2nd floor on the 6th grade wing was air conditioned. The system was put in place to allow for expansion as well throughout the building. So that's something we look to do at some point. Also, the whole plan is $12,875,000 and $5. So it's a very hefty plan. I think it's probably one of the highest. I think the highest we've had in a very long time, if not ever. But again, it's a result of not receiving funding that we desperately need. So, happy to take any questions.
Sure, thank you for that. So was last year the first year that we did receive any funding, and how long?
I believe so, yeah,
Like ever?
since I've been, yeah,
And how many years is that?
is it,
How many years is that?
oh, 18, 19, something like that.
Okay. When is your meeting with capital budget?
It hasn't been set yet. I imagine it will either be in December or January. I know the town schedule's pushed back a little bit. We were at a select board meeting last night and you know, the new interim town administrator said that, you know, just the regular operating budget cycle, is a little behind. So it'll be interesting to see how it goes. But, generally we have met in the past. We didn't meet with capital last year, in January. And it gets whittled down. I think the town finance has to come up with how much money is going to be available for borrowing. That's the key component. So if we're looking for 4.6 million, but in reality, if that's 1.2 million, the town needs to establish how much non-excluded debt we can pull into the operating budgets. You have to pay the payments and the principal and interest on everything that's borrowed. So that process has to take place first. And then it needs to, once there's a dollar value established, then we need to make our presentation and fight for our share of what's available.
So typically you go and make one presentation and that's it?
Primarily, yes.
Could be that it could come up again at advisor.
Yeah, advisory board then looks at it after that.
Capital looks at it.
And select.
Does the capital budget committee have a schools liaison? Or do you meet with the bulk?
Well, it's a subcommittee.
No, so you guys are gonna go to this meeting?
We should be.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah. And I have in years past.
okay. All right, I think that's important.
Yeah.
We just met with the capital committee to discuss the bonds. Roof, not too
Yes.
I mean, any meetings like that, we should at least be aware of.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So this needs to be, I need to send it over to the town tomorrow. So I'm asking for a vote. This was prioritized. The items were all pulled together, and then prioritized by the capital budget. So
Okay. I have one more question. On the accessibility issues, I know that we had talked about, when I went to school council at Daniel Webster, there were some accessibility issues there. Did you have a chance to follow up on that?
yes,
Where does that fall?
we're waiting for the design from the architect.
On the
So that he
it's
just-
like
The plans. The
Okay.
plans have to be drawn and given to the
Yep.
town hall. So-
Okay, I just want to make sure I didn't forget to
back up.
say something about that. Great. Did you guys have any questions?
Nope.
I know you were. No, I understand, but I didn't know if something else came up. Thanks for clarifying that.
So do we need to vote on that?
Yes, I think a vote would be good. And I know,
Subcommittee vote, but we need a school committee vote on that, just so we can have.
On the priorities.
Yes,
Yeah, so we're just ratifying the recommendation.
yes, just.
Yeah, so motion approved.
A second?
You ready to vote on?
I am.
Okay, all those in favor, raise your right hand, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstained, 300. Motion passes.
Thank you.
Much.
Good one, isn't it? Speaking of.
You do.
Yes, thank you.
You do. Okay, and you might as well continue on,
If I
Mr. Miller.
if I could just say, thank you for Assistant Superintendent Miller for doing this. I asked Assistant Superintendent Miller to put together contemporaneous sort of financials, so you can see the accounts, you can see the encumbered and expended accounts as they go. I asked him to kind of short order, so we'll catch up next time. But I think it's also with the revolving accounts. so that the committee has a full accounting of where we are with each of these once a month. And I think it would be good for the community to see it as well, particularly as we're moving with our budget.
Well, I like the idea of contemporaneous. I think that, I noticed in the past, like when we used to have multi-signatures on the line items, are really hard to sync up invoices versus what our procurement system says. Can we get that cleaned up, like our descriptions of purchases?
Descriptions of purchases on the warrant.
Not necessarily in the warrant. I mean, we get all these invoices, but then you have to marry them up with line items, right? That was in the procurement system.
Yeah,
That's not you.
I could talk about this for a while.
Right, but
Well, so there's some issue, we're working, I mean, this is the third year of Munis and we're still working out the bugs.
Yeah.
There's a long account, which is maybe 25 digits and broken up into several segments. That's what we use. The town uses 2 segments. And unfortunately, on a warrant, when the final warrant's done for signature, we only get those 2, which mean absolutely nothing to any of it.
Well, you'll get like 100 things with the same description, and they're all very, very different.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the issue.
The hope here is that you'll be able to see the accounts as they're expended out, and then you can, sorry, I'll get wrong. And then you can give us some thoughts and counsel as we moving forward if we need to formulate a budget subcommittee meeting based on something you see and have questions about. That could happen.
Yeah, I think on our end it's good. My concern was the town, right, when they brought that up.
Oh, for the Munis part. You know, I hear that.
Right, that needs to be cleaned up.
Yeah.
Have you guys seen this yet? Was that part of your meeting, or this is new to you as well?
This is brand new.
This is great.
So this is, so in your information, there's September month-end report. There's, September is very early on in the year. There's not going to be a whole lot here. This is broken down. This is the financial report that I had done previously for the school committee for many years. Kind of got sidetracked during the whole conversion from our old accounting system to our new accounting system. Takes a little bit more work to do this now, even though we've got a whole new system. There's nothing earth-shattering here. It does have our budget by DSE function code, and you can see the descriptions here and the codes there. And our budget is broken down by salaries and expenses, and then expenses and encumbrances with a balance. Again, it's so early in the year. Right now, you're not going to see anything that's going to stand out. But as we move forward during the year, and this is provided on a monthly basis, we might start to see trends. On this report, page 2, you can see the total appropriated salaries, 51,180,316, where expenses are 9,060,832. That's a result of our last couple of years where we've, unfortunately have not filled positions through attrition, and have begun to adjust our expenses primarily in utilities and transportation and those items. That used to be a little bit more skewed towards the salary side, but this is reality now. So, and then the last thing I just wanted to mention was the circuit breaker. And I mentioned it a few times, but we only carried over $33,125, which is kind of our, when Mr. Greer mentioned before about a reserve, that's our reserve. And $33,000 is not good. There's been years we've carried over up close to $2 million, carried over our full year of circuit breaker. Again, just a really quick explanation, circuit breaker funding comes in the next year for heavy special education expenses that occur in the year before. You're allowed to carry over all the funds received to the next year, and the law was enacted primarily for any any large scale, it's supposed to be a set aside for any large scale special education expenses. But in our world where we have full line autonomy, that means everything to a certain extent. I mean, it's primarily for special education expenses, but if one account goes haywire, it can be adjusted off the special education funding. But $33,000 is, I'm losing my hair.
That's budget times you see us have.
And you can see we received over $2.5 million for fiscal 25. So the estimated fiscal 26 is that same dollar amount as of now. And that funding is really pushed in on these offsets, the offsets for our out-of-district tuition. So we're on a thin line. So, and that's what this is going to do as we move forward each month. I'm shooting for the second meeting to provide this report for the previous month. We're doing pretty well on the operating budget front. I did throw a revolving fund report into the folder about 3 hours ago. So I know nobody really had a chance to look at it, but this is revolving funds as of year end, fiscal 25, so as of June 30th. I can't really provide a September one as of yet because our September revenue has not been fully posted. So I thought it was more appropriate to provide the committee with our June 30th balances in all our revolving accounts. And when you get a chance to look at it, you can see our school lunch revolving is very healthy. And we've really relied upon that to solve some of these issues. We're allowed to charge off our custodial expenditures that used to be in our operating budget, now to food services.
Just in case people don't know what the revolving accounts can be spent on, maybe just tell them.
Yes, revolving accounts need to be spent, our funds received for a variety of items, but need to be spent on expenses associated with that revenue. So school lunch revolving can only be spent on school lunch. However, you can charge off custodial time in the cafeterias to the school lunch revolving. And because of the Massachusetts free lunch, our school lunch revolving accounts, you can see we had a balance of almost 1.8 million at the beginning of fiscal 25. We drew that down by almost $500,000 last fiscal year. So we can't continue to do that because then that's going to put us not only a problem over here in revolving, but also a problem in operating because we can't sustain that year after year after year. So these are things we're doing now to get us through hopefully these tight times to where we can finally get the budget under control. There's a couple other items in non-resident tuition, same way. That's funding we receive from other districts that send their students to some of our specialized programs. We're starting to rely upon that for our operating budget a little more than the revenue. You can see in last fiscal year we spent almost $200,000 more than we took in, but we're going to whittle that down because we had a healthy balance of about $500,000 in there. So that's helping us sustain. And the last one is similar with integrated preschool, our preschool program. Our peers that pay into that program, we actually did increase the amount in that balance last year. But those free funds are being heavily utilized to get us through FY26. But this gives you a good snapshot of all our different revolving accounts. Athletics, 0, because we ended up having to journal entry expenses into the operating budget from our athletic revolving fund. So that's sort of the problem that we've been talking about. Just trying to get all this under control, and then which will allow us to get our operating budget under control. So and I'll start to provide this on a monthly basis as well. It'll probably be 1 month behind the operating because of the revenue posting with the town. The town's doing a good job, but you may have heard another treasurer just resigned, so that now they have another opening there, so they're gonna start to get behind again. But we'll, as always, be through.
Hopefully that's a useful tool for you.
Yeah.
Looking where we are and for the community as well. Thank you.
Thanks.
I appreciate you doing this, Tom. I'm a little concerned with the numbers I see here. Is this burn rate on our budget pretty steady? Is the burn rate pretty steady, right? Your monthly.
Yeah, I mean, it pretty, I mean, we're, you know, the overall budget, or are you talking revolving or overall?
No, I'm looking at the, well, not that you can see it from here, but it's the
monthly financial report
yeah.
for September.
You talking about the percentage encumbered expended?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, the majority, so
I mean, it looks like.
I really look at the budgets, I mean, the budget's pretty simple when you really boil it down. We have our salaries, we have an appropriation. That's set. Those are the numbers we put there.
Yeah, that's
and we have some, you know, we have some mid-year increases that are unforeseen with tuition, with degrees and all that kind of, they go up, but we also have a lot of attrition as well with unfilled positions. So it's salaries, and then expenditures really are, we try to have the majority of anything that is not transportation, utilities, or ongoing expenses through the year, we try to have those purchased up front at the beginning of the year. You should be getting your textbooks and supplies, for the most part, are purchased at the beginning of the year for the school year. So it doesn't really break down. You can't really divide it out by 10 if that's.
You're going 10 or you're going 12?
Or 12.
I'm assuming this burn is July.
Yeah, oh yeah, sorry, yes, yeah.
Right.
So it's not it's really not a 1/12 monthly expenditure. The summer, July and August will be less.
Salaries will be.
Salaries are clearly less in the summer.
Yep.
Yeah. We have people who play during the summer, but
yeah.
But then it moves once the year kicks in, you start spending more on salaries. So.
All right, I got it now.
Yeah. It's really tough to get it. I mean, we could encumber all salaries. That's one way of presenting, but.
No, when I asked my question, I was thinking it was a burn only for September, right? 20% of my budget.
Oh yeah.
It's actually July, August, September.
Correct. Yeah.
So never mind, we can move on.
Okay.
And those discretionary expenditures are heavy in August and September.
Yep.
Is there anything here that, at this point in the year, is already sort of flagged for you, like, ooh, we're a little high there, and we normally would, that you expect?
Not quite yet. I mean, what I'm really focusing on right now, I mean, besides the revolving accounts, you know, that athletics, we're obviously focused on that because that's been an issue. Our building maintenance, and there's nothing we can do about it. Things break, things need to be fixed. We're trying to really focus in, have our great custodial staff do the best that they can do with the funding that really probably isn't appropriate for what's going on in our buildings. And that's just an issue that we've overspent, because if something breaks, you gotta fix it. We do have $250,000, that's with school facilities. That was received at special town meeting, so we rely upon that for any of the major costs, major expenditures that come in. You know, that, and keeping a close eye on our transportation. That's really the main thing, and utilities we're tracking. You know,
What can you do with
turn down the heat.
What can you wiggle with transportation?
What's that?
What changes with transportation?
What?
You know what I mean? Yeah, like why is it so variable?
Oh, I mean, it's in districts. I mean, in district transportation, our numbers are up. So it's becoming one of the downsides of the time change and pulling everything together. It makes it difficult for our vans to get around town. We used to have that split. So our vans are kind of at capacity in a number of aspects, and we are limited in utilizing our vans for any of the out-of-district schools that are near us. Like South Shore Collaborative, we used to have a van take our students there, and now we're paying an outside provider because we don't have that capacity. That also kind of goes to our vans and the number of drivers we have. It's just, it's a lot. It's a lot going on there. And then, our contract is, our regular bus contract is settled, so, that's not an issue. We have that under control. So I think that's
Is there any value or benefit to the district to purchase additional vans?
So
Is there any benefit to the district to purchase additional vans?
Additional vans, any benefit for the district to purchase additional?
Yeah, I mean, I think so. I mean, that's why it's on the capital plan. I mean, our vans are getting older, and we're gonna have to take them off the road. We do have one more driver than we had previously, which means we have one more van on the road.
Yeah, just looking at the ROI, that's right, I haven't seen any calculations, so, the only time I see it is, we're gonna buy something.
Oh, yeah, I mean.
What is the return on this
Yeah.
investment? Right, so we're gonna save X number of dollars, subbing it out by bringing it in-house, that type of thing.
Yeah,
And we're gonna, trade in these vans, they're gonna become cabs in some other country, right? And, we're gonna get X number of dollars for it to put towards the new stuff.
We actually, when our vans are taken off the road as with pupil plates, we downgrade them and they're utilized as maintenance vans, at the schools.
So
Right now, we have one, I think, left. And then when they're completely, we donate them to police or fire for their.
Let them on fire.
Yeah, they burn them, shoot that.
Yeah.
Do a burn exercise.
Fire just did a burning, like last week, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
We should talk about that in a subcommittee meeting, but,
Yeah.
transportation has come up in other subcommittee meetings, so we should probably combine the efforts and
Yeah.
see what's in the best interest.
Well, this is exactly what
Yeah.
it is, to get you the information so
Yeah.
you can have some say in some of these things.
The other thing too is, we can't stockpile the maintenance budget, right? Typically, a company would allocate 10%, right, per year. Is there a creative way that we could do that? And I don't need, it's a rhetorical question.
Reserve.
Yeah, so we have the maintenance budget, right? It's, we have all these routes, right? There's no reason we couldn't have put, X number of dollars away every year. I mean, other than the state of Mass doesn't like it, right? Per year, and then, we just pay for it. We're not having to hit up the taxpayers of the town for.
Yeah, and I mean, in
exclusions of things.
a perfect scenario, that's what we would be doing. Of course, it's.
There must be some
Two and a half, we don't really have much of, we'll go from.
And you can't spend the previous year.
Yeah. Well, I mean, again, it needs to be done on the municipal side, because we don't have that, we would have to get the authority to create a reserve fund.
Well, not even reserve, just saying in case.
That's exactly what we just.
That's
just voted.
On, and you pay them X number of dollars per year, and, maybe 10, 15, 20 years into that maintenance contract, you get a free new roof. Yeah, I'm just making up stuff, but, there must be a creative way that we're not having to get these spikes.
Yeah, I mean, this is all really good
Well,
conversation.
that used to be the
We'll take
building,
it
right?
out.
Right, yeah.
It's never.
10, we don't want to get nailed out again.
No, it's really good though. Thank you for doing that. I just have one question before we move on. You mentioned we have one more driver than we previously had, so we have one more van on the road. Do we have vans that aren't on the road?
No, when I say on the road, I mean a route. A route where they're going, you know, to
Okay.
the high school, to Amesway, to the preschool.
Okay, I didn't know if you meant that we had vans that were sitting because we didn't have drivers.
No, we have a couple of backup vans
Okay, in case one breaks.
when they're at the shop, and they're spending a lot of time.
A couple, 2, 3? I'm just curious, how many?
2 right now. Oh, you know, 3, but the third one is utilized by the post program a lot too. So
Okay,
it's really kind of 2, but they're really older and they're there.
all right, I just want to understand. Okay, thank you. Thank you for that.
I was supposed to make these
I wrote, Rich said,
Rich Beth is something.
here, Rich back, I just do this on my
I've had a lot of questions, great. Okay, moving on, Assistant Superintendent will present first read of MHS competency determination policy. Dr. Martin.
So we actually met as a subcommittee, yesterday? Yeah. Keep track. And so the high school did a lot of work around this. So the Department of Ed is asking us basically to develop a policy around competency determination that outlines what exactly a student needs to do in order to show competency. So we can't just say that they're going to meet the course requirements. We have to say, how do you know that they're passing the classes? So basically, MASC did come out with a template for districts to use. So we really did follow the template. We had originally put in a lot of detail around the high school, but we decided, and I had Mr. Greer in the back of my head saying policy should be very general and very succinct. So basically what it's saying is that in order to successfully complete these classes, a student needs to pass a final assessment of a course, a capstone or portfolio project, or an equivalent measure that we would identify. So it outlines all of the coursework that a student needs to have. And I should back up, this is really as a result of us not using MCAS as a competency determination anymore. I can also fast forward that the Board of Education and the Department of Ed are also going to suggest that we have end of course assessments that will be developed by the state. So we don't even know how long this policy will be in place and if something else will come down that the state will require. So in the meantime, we have to outline all of the courses and how a student will show competency in each course. We also had to show how a student with disabilities could meet the competency determination, how our English language learners will be supported in meeting the competency determination, how late enrolling students who may not have been here, so we may not have, they might not be in the same coursework or have the same coursework if they transfer in from somewhere else. So what will the procedure be as far as them meeting the competency determination? And then we also have to have an appeals process in place for anyone enrolled from 2003 through 2024, while MCAS was a requirement, they are able to appeal in order to have a competency, the competency requirement met. So they no longer have to have only MCAS as that requirement. So in the very end, it talks about how a student or a parent or guardian can help their student appeal this process. So this really comes down to our students who had a certificate of attainment but not competency met, and how they can come back and now if they passed a course, if they could show that they passed the course but they not necessarily passed MCAS, they could now apply and get basically a diploma, which they did not get in the past because they didn't meet the MCAS requirement. So there were all of these components, and basically what we did was we followed the template from DESE, and we also followed the template from MASC, and we outlined all of what we have in place for Marshfield High School. There's a lot here. This is a first read. We do have to submit the policy by December 31st is the deadline to submit it in full. Okay, so that was it. And I don't know, we did plug this into Drive yesterday, so I'm not even sure if you had a chance to read it. That's why it is the first read.
The comment I have on it is it's very wordy, and it's not you know, right? So don't take it personal. If I'm
Mr. Costello.
Well, he gets paid by the word. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so a lot of the MASC policies we benchmarked against when we redid everything, and we chalked a lot of stuff out because there's a lot of procedural stuff in there that really should be mapped to the policy, but not necessarily in the policy.
Yes, and I would tend to agree. We did take out a lot of language. However, their template goes really according to what DESE is asking us to submit as a policy. So anything in here is a requirement from DESE to be inside a policy that is approved by the board. So that's kind of why this one is very lengthy compared to some of our other policies.
Yeah.
Because it has to outline which courses, which ones satisfy the requirement. It has to outline exactly how a student can show mastery in each course. It has to outline all of those additional considerations for all of the different student subgroups, and also the appeals process. All of that has to be in a policy, which is the requirement, which we will have to submit to DESE as a policy. So I agree with you that our policies, we like them short.
You know, my feelings on DESE, but
Yes.
How do you feel about that? Just kidding.
You want me to say it?
No, I do.
Again, I mean, we do not know when or if this will change in the future, depending on what they decide as far as end of course assessments that they will require, most likely.
Because our employees don't have enough to do.
Exactly.
Those are my thoughts exactly. Yeah. I was like, what is this? Yeah. I am like, what is this? Okay.
It was,
Is this going to be safe? They don't move on.
No, I think we're gonna wait.
it's the first read. It's the
Yeah,
first.
no,
Yeah,
yeah.
we have time.
Give me some thought.
Yeah.
Just take a temperature and so.
Nope. Okay, and you are up again, Dr. Martin, this is the middle school CTE pathways policy.
So this came rather quickly. I already applied for an extension because they wanted everything submitted by October 31st. And we were definitely not ready by October 31st. So this is really two parts. So again, the policy is exactly what the Department of Ed is asking us to put in the policy. So what this is ensuring that our middle school students have a pathway to explore other options, such as career, technical education programs, agricultural schools, all of that. We have to be able to provide them with avenues to take tours, with avenues to get presentations. We have to make sure that they are aware. We also have to have now a curriculum in place for grades 6, 7, and 8 that allows for students to start exploring careers in college. So what's in the policy before you, some of this we've already had in place because we are a member of South Shore Regional Vocational Technical School. So some of this was already in place. Really, we have to be able to identify those schools that we'll send students to. We have to make sure that they are aware of all of the programs that are available. We have to provide them with the information of our 7th and 8th grade students. Now, parents can opt out. So what Furnace Brook will do is, before they provide the information annually on October 15th, they will send something out to parents. If parents and caregivers do not want their students' information to be shared, then we will not share it. So it's an opt-out, not an opt-in.
Can you clarify shared with who?
With these schools, with any member, so with South Shore Vocational Technical School, with Bristol Agricultural School, or with Norfolk County Agricultural School. Because those are all the ones that we are associated with. So the information on campus assemblies, so we have to invite all of those organizations, including Marshfield High School, by the way, because we do have some chapter, some Chapter 74 programs at the high school. So they are all invited to do an assembly for our middle school students by October 15th. This year, South Shore Vocational School came and Marshfield High School came. The agricultural schools did not give assemblies. We also have to allow our students to go on school tours during the school day. So we had our students walk over to Marshfield High School who wanted to. Now this is, again, it's almost like a field trip, so parents have to get permission, it's a field trip, but the students are not marked as an unexcused absence. So the school tours this year, they walked over to Marshfield High School. They were able to take a tour by bus to South Shore Voc. The host school has to provide the transportation, so they have to fund the transportation. So we did not fund a bus, anything like that. The two agricultural high schools did not offer the tours. They were not able to provide the transportation, so our students did not go on those tours. We have to promote all of the open houses and informational events by all of those schools, which Mrs. Casey did. Ms. Casey did at the middle school through newsletters. They were on their website. And then we also have to provide opportunities for 8th grade students to participate in interviews for those schools during the school day. We have to make sure that we publish information about the admission policies and all of that. And we also have to provide any admission records to those schools. And we kept this rather broad because it's a documentation of student interest, attendance records, and discipline records, but it's only some of the discipline records. I think Ms. Casey mentioned 37H and 37H and a half, the 37H and 3/4 is not sent over. So the CTE schools also are working on their admissions policies at the same time all of this is happening. So we will send whatever records that we are required to send at that point for a student. And then we also have to maintain all of these records that we provided, time for the presentations, the assemblies, the tours, all of that, and submit them to DESE if they so requested. So all of that information was outlined. That is the policy. Outside of the policy, we also have to submit a scope and sequence for the middle school pathway exploration, which is a guidance curriculum basically that for grades 6, 7, 8, what are we doing with these students to help them prepare for exploring their future career paths. So what I did was just linked our draft scope and sequence at the bottom of this policy document. That will not be part of the policy, but I wanted you to have access to that. They are still working on all of that curriculum, which is why we really asked for the extension through December 31st, so they have time to put that scope and sequence into place. One other interesting thing, and Mr. Greer, I'm going to hear your voice in a minute. We were told repeatedly when we asked in the information sessions if this particular MyPat platform was going to be required by our schools. And we were repeatedly told no, but as of, I think it was 3 weeks ago, they did publish something that schools will be expected to use that particular platform by the 27-28 school year. So what we are doing right now is aligning the scope and sequence to what that platform has so that when we have to move over, it will be very similar. There is a free platform and a paid platform. So both Ms. Casey and I are attending, I think, a 3-hour webinar on Thursday to learn more about MyCap and what that will entail. So there are different pathways that we will be able to take with that, but we really are not all that familiar with it at this point. And we can't jump in with both feet this year because it would be something new. So we are doing that scope and sequence on our own until we can determine what that platform will look like. So again, that was a lot of my talking, but everything in the policy is what we are expected to submit according to the Department of Ed. We are also expected to submit that scope and sequence, and then Dr. Sullivan also has to sign an attestation form saying that, yes, we are definitely doing all of this on the timeline that they require. So all of that will be submitted to the
So, a lot of work. Well, thank Dr. Martin and Principal Casey for collaborating. It's a lot of work.
It came up pretty quickly.
Yeah, so I'm looking at this, the first school guidance department.
Yes.
Curriculum that there. So it looks like a lot of this is stuff that you're already doing.
Some of it is,
okay,
and some of it, as you can see, there are still some gaps there.
Right, yep, I see that.
Which is what they will be working on. They have curriculum time set aside. This is all what they've done since basically October. I think they started this October 1st. So they've done all of this in a month, and then they will continue to work on it until we have to submit it.
So you received this information on October 1st?
Nope, we received the information, I want to say maybe September. It was a
That's a
very
really
quick
short timeline.
It was a very quick
John,
timeline.
I would know better, but
Right.
from what I have learned, the amount of districts asking for extensions.
Yes, an extension, I don't know of any district that is. I mean, I think the districts who probably have already been using MyCap were in a much better position to submit more quickly. We just happen to not be using MyCap. So we have a little bit more work to do.
Do you know how many districts were using MyCap before that?
I do not.
Okay.
I mean, and they want you to use it 6 through 12.
Yep, okay.
So that's the other thing, high school is going to be impacted. Whatever pathway we end up using, whether it's the free version or the paid version. And it has to also connect to all of these other schools. So we have to make sure that whatever we use, all of the other schools that we're sending kids to are also using the same platform, which I think is why we're now going to require it, because this follows them. They have an account that starts in grade 6, and the account follows them through high school. So if they transfer to another district or another school, they have to be able to have that account to transfer.
Did they share in the informational session what their goal is with this? Like, what's the why?
I think the why is just to make sure that we are offering students opportunities to look at all of their career paths. So whether it be college or vocation or anything else that they choose to do in their life, they want to make sure that we are offering them all the opportunities to get the information, to understand more about the careers that they have in front of them, or the pathways that they have access to, because I think they realize that not all kids go to college, and some of our kids go on to be very successful without doing that, so I think they just want to open up opportunities, which I think that's great. I think the hoops and the red tape are a little bit excessive, but I do think it's a good thing that we're exposing our kids to. No. Again,
So it sounds like a lot of touch points on this that have dollar figures attached to each touch point. So as far as I'm concerned, it's an unfunded mandate.
It does and it doesn't. I think we have to make sure that our kids are excused from school, but we are not paying for the buses or the tours. We are not paying for,
So there's a lot of soft costs attached to this, right? So it's taking your time, it's taking other people's time, and thank you for all the hard work, by the way. My issues with, again, with DESE, right, of the state. We've made great progress in trying to make every student successful in this district. Whether that means military, municipal jobs, trades, or going to university, right? I think we do a great job on it. And here, they're taking people away from their day jobs to be involved with this. They're mandating a new platform that IT will have to support in some fashion, whether it be help desk or otherwise. There's going to be training for all the personnel that use this new system. And over time, that adds potentially hundreds of thousands of dollars, right? And I don't see a check coming in from DESE to reimburse us for this.
I agree. I mean, I did save screenshots of when they said that this was not required. But,
Yeah, I'm curious to know what changed
weeks ago,
and why, I would like to know, definitely.
I wonder, part of it, again, I think, in order for this to follow a student and to allow a student to keep track of all of their activities that led up to their career path, they do need the same platform if they move from school to school or district to district. So, however, I'm not sure, the value add that takes there.
Yeah, my issue is with the dollars. I mean, obviously we want to make the students successful and facilitate, future endeavors, but, unfunded mandate. I mean, I see this as being 6 figures or more to support this. And, we're talking about, we got what, 30,000 left. So we're in the hole, 70K at least, just doing this. I can see the two policies.
Yeah.
I'm not going to die on that hill, but when we start implementing new enterprise software and all of this other stuff.
Well, those are really good points. I think we should probably let it go for now. Take your conversation on that.
Yeah. Well, the argument's not with anybody in the room.
I understand, exactly, yes.
So we don't need to
Yeah.
talk about that.
Right. Okay, let's see. Let's move just into informational.
Yeah, go very quickly, as usual. Lovely professional development today, but I'll let Assistant Superintendent Dr. Martin talk about that. As she lived in the Dowd Galvin, the professional development team, that's wonderful. I did send out yesterday a letter to all families regarding the ending of the supplemental national assistance program for needy families, which commonly referred to as SNAP. With that, some benefits will be cut for families. I did want to reiterate that as we've had for the past 2 years, Marshfield, Massachusetts continues to honor the free breakfast and lunch for all students. So I just want to reiterate to any family who might be impacted by the ending of SNAP that is a fabulous resource. And I just highlighted, as a lot of districts have in the area, a lot of the resources that families can turn to, including the food pantries in the area that I want to make sure people are around. But overarchingly, just to make sure that people know that Marshfield Public Schools stands with them and wants to support them and provide them the resources they need. So that was one thing. And then just in terms of some awesome things happening, we gave out our first Marshfield Belong Builders Award on Friday to amazing Jen Urardi, who's over at Governor Winslow, one of our social workers. It just honors, the award honors staff members who have created an environment of belonging for our students, making them feel that they're special and connected to the school community. And Jen is an amazing example of that. So that was a nice one. And it's, I don't know if you saw the award, it's a nice little award.
It is, yeah.
Glass, but it's nice award, not crystal. We have the Marshfield Elementary School Cross Country Invitational coming up tomorrow. That's the 9th annual, and that's a collaboration of the Boys and Girls Club, the Marshfield Road Runners. Obviously, Assistant Superintendent Miller is involved with this. The Furnaceburg Cross Country Track and Field, Marshfield District-wide PTO, and it will take place tomorrow at Rockwood Road Field Complex, which is right near the Boys and Girls Club. It's actually on the other side. But check-in beginning at 3 p.m. Races begin at 3:30, and it's a great event. I've been to that many times. Looking forward to it tomorrow. Our Wall of Honor remains open. We're looking for submissions up until November 7th, so that's this Friday. Hoping to honor some fabulous educators from the past in Marshfield. Speaking of accomplishments, just the Gold Ribbon Awareness Club, which raises money for childhood cancer research, raised $11,784.
Awesome.
So that's an incredible district-wide effort. That's one of the things, I wasn't here when I used to be, before I came back. Coming back and watching that is just inspiring. It's great. And then a couple things I've been doing is, as a superintendent, I've been meeting with seniors, trying to get a feel for the senior class, asking some questions. I've met with 2 groups. If you look at my newsletter, you can see the groups met with. I have a bunch of more meetings coming to get a sense for how they feel the school experience has been for them since they started in kindergarten. What are some of the things that we do really well? What are some of the things we can work on? Get a sense for how they're feeling as they move into the next chapter. Never asking them, what are you doing next year? I cannot ask them that. But it's been nice. It's been a really good insight. I feel like I'm getting to know them a bit better. So I'm going to do that throughout the year. And hopefully it pays off as we sort of communicate these things with leadership, with our teachers, and I can highlight some of it in my graduation speech. Would be nice. And then finally, it's one other thing. We started working with my advisory council. So my advisory council met earlier this week. It was last week, actually. And we have a meeting coming up with all of our elementary students as well. That was just for the middle and high school. We have a date for the Mosaic. It's March 26th from 6 to 8 p.m. at the high school. I'm really looking forward to that. That's all we have to say.
Thank you so much. Dr. Martin.
Sure. So yes, today was our full day of professional development. We actually started with Carrie Stack, who is a former Marshfield graduate from 1990. She's a former teacher and social worker. She was talking about basically culture, climate, how we all play a role in building the culture. And I'm just going to read, she got really great reviews. A couple comments that came in today. Guest speaker was one of my favorites. It was a message that I think we all need to hear, and I hope we have future guest speakers like her in the future. There was another one in here, the speaker this morning was entertaining and honest. She really put me in a good mindset about the impact we have on our students. So there are just a couple of, I had heard Carrie speak a couple times before, and she brings humor to a very difficult job sometimes. So it was good to hear that people enjoyed it. And then after that, schools went back. She provided us some talking points and questions for principals and department leaders to debrief with their staff around next steps that they can take in their building to help build culture and climate back in the buildings. And then each building offered different choices for their staff. It ranged anywhere from make and take sessions to Governor Winslow, I talked to Mrs. Hubbard tonight, Many of her grade 3 teachers worked with our instructional coaches this afternoon. So it just was a little bit different. You guys went to Steeple School, so every building did a little bit different thing with what their teachers needed. So all in all, it was a great day. It was very busy. Couple of other things, just FYI, Marshfield Friends of Music Mattress fundraiser this Sunday at Marshfield High School, the named snowplow contest for elementary kids, due by November 7th. All of that's in the school newsletters. That's it.
The unified basketball team, that was the other one. They were amazing. Yeah. Sorry to jump in there.
No.
That continues to be a huge highlight of the year, the unified team. So just very proud of it.
They have there's a couple more games coming up, right?
Yeah, I think just one more of the chart, that one fundraising game against.
One more, and then we have the track field stuff to expect.
Oh, great. That is so exciting.
They haven't had a chance to come out, so it's great. Sorry.
No, yeah, that's great.
And our sports teams are also trying to update more about that next time.
Awesome. Mrs. Clara.
I just have a quick PD update. So as we continue to explore ways to support social emotional learning and increase strategies for teachers and students in the classroom, recently the elementary assistant principals, K-2 special education teacher from each building, the director of early childhood, and an OT from the preschool level attended a 2-day train the trainer professional development program sponsored by the Pilgrim Area Collaborative called the Regulated Classroom. The Regulated Classroom is an evidence-based, trauma-informed framework that helps educators and students to co-regulate their nervous systems in the classroom using 4 core practices of connectors, activators, settlers, and affirmations. So the framework is designed to foster felt safety, strengthens relationship, and promotes engagement and readiness to learn. So while I'm not an expert in this framework, I can tell you that the participants came back from the training raving about the opportunity and excited to begin sharing what they learned with their colleagues. The next step is for the participants to work with the leadership team and the appropriate committees to determine how this could align with our SEL work in the district and to strategize the best way to share the information and strategies with educators across the district. So it was just really nice to hear how positive people felt about that PD. And just a couple updates from CPAC. On October 29th, CPAC hosted a presentation on technology. It was an excellent presentation that provided parents and caregivers with excellent information to help them understand the types and impacts of technology on children and practical advice on finding balance, teaching critical thinking about technology, and managing technology use. So the meeting was really well attended. Everything else in CPAC. And the feedback on PAC presentations is always outstanding. So that was great. The next CPAC presentation is on December 11th at 6:30 at Central Office Auditorium. I will present on the basic rights in special education, IEPs and 5 to 4s, and we'll share strategies for parents to understand and organize all the paperwork that comes with special education. They don't often know what to do with it all. So we will have tools available for people who prefer to print documents, and what do you do with them, where they go, and also for those who like to organize things digitally. Finally, the nomination forms for CPAC leadership positions have been distributed, and the voting for those CPAC officers will take place at that December.
Are CPAC officers leaving?
I don't think so, but every 2 years there needs to be nominations and voting. So
It's great to
they
hear.
wish to run, they will.
Yeah. It's great to hear that it's going so well. I know when I first, got on the school committee, we were struggling to get people to, those meetings, and
It's great.
they're doing such a good job. So that's awesome, and it's such a great resource for families. I think that even if you don't have a child that necessarily, needs certain services, it's good for everybody. It's good information.
Everyone's welcome. at all?
Yeah, I remember when I went to the Aspen one, and I was like, oh, I didn't know how to do that. So it was really great. So I think that they're good for everybody. So I would encourage everyone to attend those meetings. You guys are doing a really good job. So thank you for that. Mr. Miller.
Real quick, just Martin roof update. Last evening, the select board set a vote of January 10th. So there'll be a ballot vote on January 10th for a debt exclusion vote for the Martin roof project. We were hopeful for an earlier date, but yesterday afternoon, the MSBA contacted us and let us know that we were given the go-ahead that we could continue work all the way through bidding without a project funding agreement. So there was a question of whether or not we could do that. So the vote taking place on January 10th is not going to slow down the project at all. On the original schedule, we actually had bidding on January 15th. So we'll be able to do that without a problem. So that was all settled. Just to recap, the max MSBA grant is $3,644,230. That's 49.31% of the project. The debt exclusion, the average annual cost to the average home in Marshfield, the average home in Marshfield is $758,800. That's up over $350,000 in the last 8 years. The average annual cost starts off at $30.35 per year and goes down to $15.18 in year 20. That's an average cost of $22.76 per year over the 20 years. So those are the facts on that debt exclusion, and we'll be hearing more about that as we move through the holidays into January 10th.
Yeah, but thankful to the select board for putting it on the ballot and for the town approving the funding through the ballot if it so goes that way.
Very much. There you go. Mr. Greer so kindly informed me that I forgot to say something very important about the meeting law, so I am going to do that now. I need to inform everyone that this meeting is being videotaped by Marshfield Community Media over there. Thank you very much for being here. If anyone else is videotaping this meeting, please let us know now. Seeing that, thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Greer.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, no, can't live without Jeff. All right. I think that is everything. I'm looking to adjourn.
I'm out of paper. We gotta adjourn.
So
Okay.
roll call. Mrs. Dargan.
Here, yes.
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 Okay, Mr. Greer, yes. Great.
Yes.
It's 4-0-0.
Thank you very much,
Thank you,
everybody.
Councilor Bishop, Assistant Principal Milch.